welcome to Embracing the Fight. I am Erica Lamar, your digital creator and host, and I absolutely love the fact that you are checking out Embracing the Fight today because you can go back in time and you can watch the other videos or the other podcast episodes that I created starting in January of 2023. Embracing the Fight was created to help normalize the conversations surrounding physical and mental health issues and concerns. And I started off the conversation with my journey through thyroid cancer. And what a journey it's been. I go back to the doctor on May the 8th to discuss the results from the recent labs that I've taken. And y'all know me, I had to peek in there and see, what the results were. And there were some numbers there, but I really don't know exactly if I should be like super excited or what, because the numbers are around the same as what they were, previously, even though it's not undetectable, it's very, very close to being undetectable. So I'm already going to claim it. I claim healing and I claim freedom from this thing called cancer. All right. So today, episode 66. Wait, before I get into that, you see this shirt that I'm wearing? It says Uncommon Favor, Dawn Staley. Now, you guys know who that is, right? She just won, her team. She's the coach. She just won the NCAA Women's Championship, the University of South Carolina. Yes, Uncommon Favor. If you like the shirt, my friend Marcia Waller, she's the one that I got it from. And, just write in the comments if you're interested in getting the shirt. I'll see what I can do to get her to, give you all a link. But this is something that we should definitely celebrate. Why? Think about it. I won't even say why. You just go look up her name and you'll understand why this shirt says Uncommon Favor. All right. So today is episode 66. And I wanted to talk about dehydration, because a lot of people really don't think about dehydration the way that they should. For instance, do you really even know what dehydration is? So let's talk about it. Hydration is the intake of water. Dehydration is a lack or absence or deprivation of water intake. So say for instance, you don't drink the recommended 8 glasses of water every day. You are depriving yourself of the water that you need to give to your body. A lot of people say, oh, your body is like 90 or 95% water. No, it's not really that high. However, for the average person, it's about 60%, but can range anywhere between 40 to 75%, depending on age, gender, water intake. Those are the 3 things that really, impact the composition of your body when it comes to the percentage of water that is in your body. Also, how do you know that you're becoming dehydrated? So first sign, when you do and you notice that when your tongue touches the roof of your mouth and it's dry, or your throat is dry, or you can't make any saliva in your mouth, then you're starting, to need a little bit more water. But then if it gets to a point where your eyes are dry and you can't make any tears, I'm not saying that if you already have, some type of issue that keeps you from making tears, or you have some allergy that prevents you from making tears. I mean, if your tear ducts are normal and you can cry at the, drop of a hat, or you notice your eyes water and all of a sudden your eyes just go completely dry. You also look at your skin. If you can, like scratch on your skin and see little white marks, your skin's dry. That means you are dehydrated. Now, a lot of people think, oh, when you get dehydrated, you suffer, heat illnesses and all these different things. There's levels, to dehydration. So this is the very first few signs of dehydration. So then you also notice that you're not going to the bathroom as much, because you're not putting in the water that's going through your system that is coming out, through your urinary tract. All right. So then the other thing that you can notice too is how brittle, your hair may become because your hair needs water as well. Your nails will be brittle. And then some people will start to have issues with their gums and teeth. So as your dehydration progresses, then it starts to impact, the systems in your body. So you can get urinary tract infections. You can start to get kidney stones. You can get kidney infections. You can actually become hypovolemic or go into hypovolemic shock. And that is what happens when you're not getting enough oxygen that's going through your body. So the amount of water that you put in your body impacts the oxygen that is flowing, through your blood. So you don't want to go into hypovolemic shock. Okay. So something else you have to think about too, as I was alluding to earlier, is various heat injuries. So you could get, you could have a heat stroke. You could just become overcome, by heat. And when you do, you can become delirious. You can have like episodes. There's potential for you to have a seizure because the electrolytes that you need, in your cells that are going to your brain that help control those functions is going to be deprived, and then your muscles will start to convulse. You also can get heat cramps. And if you get heat cramps, that is like the worst. Now you're at a point where you're thirsty, everything on you is dry, and now your body is seizing because it needs that vital moisture, that vital water intake to help everything continue to flow, for cells to continue to, well, multiply, divide, do the things that they do to keep your life, to keep your body going. So what I would suggest is you start to really pay attention, to what you eat and to what you drink. So if you're drinking plenty of water or plenty of fluids, let's just say, I'm not saying something that will cause dehydration, like, oh, you just don't go out and drink a bunch of alcohol, or you're going to drink a whole lot of caffeinated drinks and things of that nature, because those things dehydrate you. Even though it seems like, you're drinking it in, but the caffeine and the alcohol itself are what dries you out. So what you need to do is replace it with water, with certain types of fruit juices. And the fruit juices, they don't need to have like a high sugar intake, and it can't be anything that's like boosted, in a sense where they're adding these levels of caffeine into these drinks. Like if you want a Red Bull, or if you want, some of these different like say V8 splashes that they've decided to put caffeine in, or if you're at Panera and they have these wonderful, summer lemonades and things that you can drink, but they're full of caffeine. And all it's doing is making your heart race, and it is literally sucking the water, out of your system. And it's not really quenching your thirst. So some other things that you need to think about is what you're eating. So if you are eating a diet that is rich of vegetables and fruit, then you're also impacting your water intake, because those things, vegetables and fruits, both have high amounts of water in them. So you should eat your fruit, eat your vegetables, and drink as much water, and fruit juice that's free, like of caffeine, or you can do vegetable juice too. Just make sure it doesn't have caffeine or sugar or anything like that in it. Try to eat as natural and healthy as possible. And then one other thing you have to consider, a lot of people, don't think about it. They're like, oh, I get my, 8 every day. But do you run? Do you exercise? Like, do you go for walks? I mean, do you expend energy? When you do you sweat? If you notice that you're sweating, that means you're losing the water that is inside of your body, and it has to be replenished. So if you normally just drink those 8, and you're not really eating any fruits, you're not really, eating any vegetables, you are dehydrating yourself. And you'll start to notice that you'll be tired, that sometimes you'll be a little bit listless, and you don't quite understand why. And it's something as simple as getting a glass of water. Now, one other thing that I always thought it was, kind of funny to hear people say, people who get up in the middle of the night because they're hungry, you're not really hungry, you're thirsty. So I'm one of those people. I will get up in the middle of the night and I know good and well that I shouldn't be trying to find something to eat, that I should just get a glass of water and just drink it. Why? So medical studies have shown, and I read this, at mayoclinic.org, or Mayo, Mayo clinic.org, and they talk about drinking a glass of water before you go to bed and drinking a glass of water when you first get up. And this basically keeps like the homeostasis in your body balanced. So it helps to, like, I'm not going to say that it completely prevents heart attacks and things of that nature, but it keeps your body in balance. So you don't have, any strange occurrences in your body, at night or when you first wake up in the morning, because you basically cleansed your cells, you are cleansing your system, you are giving your body, a fresh start. And it's very important that you do that. Now, a second ago, I was talking about when it comes to your eyes. So I didn't realize, not drinking water would have such an impact, on my eyes. I already, don't have the greatest vision, but the last time I had an eye appointment, which was last week, they were trying to fit me, for contacts again, because I don't know, it's like my vision is doing something, you know, every so often, and whatever. I guess it's one of those things that, it's inevitable after 40 your vision changes. So they were trying to fit me for some different contacts. And they were like, well, how did the contacts do, for you the last time? Well, those contacts, I was like, they were dry, I didn't like them, this and the other. And the guy like took that little, it looks like a huge contact that he puts, across your eye, and he shines this light, and then he goes away. He's like, your eyes are dry. He was like, how much water do you drink? And I'm sitting there going, you know what? I drink a lot of water, but I don't drink enough because I play tennis and I ride my bike, and I don't drink that extra water, and I don't eat the extra fruits, and vegetables. And he was like, you have to do that because you're going to start to feel like these really crusty pieces, in your eyes. It's not going to be pleasant. You'll find that your contacts will not stay in. It will fall out because your eyes are just that dry. You'll find that it is uncomfortable if they do stay in, because it's going to feel like you have sand in your eye. And I was like, well, what about these special like lubricating drops and things that you can put in your eyes? And he was like, oh yeah, you can definitely, do that. But why do that when you could just drink water? And then he starts talking about all the other, benefits of drinking water. And then he was like, you know, a lot of things that people don't think about. He was like, it aids, in proper bowel movements. And I was thinking, going, what? You figure that if you eat some prunes, or if you eat, say, some raisins or apples or something that's high in fiber, that you don't necessarily need a whole lot, of water to help, with bowel movement. But the water is what makes it so much easier. That water is basically absorbed like into your colon, and it like into your intestines, and it helps them to function. It helps everything to flow and to move. So you don't have to fight with constipation if you are drinking your water, making sure that you're getting the right amount of fiber, and you're exercising. So it's, it's a trifold kind of thing. But anyway, he continued to talk about, he was asking some other questions. He was like, do you find yourself, just thirsty, for no reason? And I was sitting there going, yeah, but you don't have to know my life story. I found myself thirsty after I had, the radioactive iodine. And we talked a little bit about that too. And that actually does impact or should I say does, it can affect your salivary glands, but it doesn't necessarily have to if during the process you eat the sour candy like they tell you to, and you flood your body with fluids. So I did both, but I think I ate more sour candy than I did, drinking of the water. So um, I guess my mouth has mixed emotions about how well, I flushed everything out, because I don't really have any issues with, my mouth necessarily being dry. It's more, my eyes. So something I want you to do tonight is after, you brush your teeth and you use your mouthwash and everything, examine your gums. Check to see, if your gums look dry and pitted, if they're changing color. Because people try to tell you that your gums change color with age. Not necessarily. As long as you are taking care of your gums, like brushing your teeth and you're brushing your gums too, you are flossing, you are using some type of mouthwash, and you are drinking plenty of water. All this helps with your gums. So do a self-examination. Check your teeth and gums and your tongue and see how hydrated you think you are. Look at your eyes as well. If you notice that your eyes, appear cloudy or red or dry, and you don't have any known allergies, make sure that you drink more water. Now, lately I found it a bit easier to drink water because I've been taking like a little bottle with me to work every day, but I think I'm going to change up because my nephew, thank you, Ernest, he accidentally left a bottle here that has like 8 o'clock in the morning where you start, and then you're supposed to drink at 9 and 10 and 11, and it has all these little encouraging things on the side of it. So I said I was going to start drinking that in addition to what I already drink. Now, there is a such thing as water intoxication, and that is equally as bad as dehydration. Because if you overfill, your body with oxygen and water, there are also negative impacts or negative things that can happen to your body. So you need to have a balance. You need to know whether or not, your blood pressure is affected. You need to pay attention, to how you are feeling. So there are people out there that are taking varying levels like of blood pressure medicines. I take a hydrochlorothiazide that is just basically a diuretic. So that's even another reason why I should drink more water. So everybody knows a diuretic is basically a water pill. It helps to run the water off your body so you're not like swelling, and it helps to like really normalize your blood pressure because it's not having to pump, your heart is not having to pump as hard, to get water, to get the blood to and from, your body. Like your veins are, they're not going to be constricted, they're not going to shrink. So if you ever have to go in and give blood or anything like that, you'll hear, the phlebotomist or the nurse say, "Oh, you got good veins." That has nothing to do with it. A good vein just means, well, it does have something to do with it in a sense, because like if you have a varicose vein or a collapsed vein, it'd be very difficult for them to get blood from it. But I'm saying all veins that are not collapsed, that aren't constricted, that aren't varicose are good veins. But what I think they really mean is that your body is well hydrated. And when they put the needle in and they take that little tube, stick it on there, get a little blood out, shake it up, put it aside. It feels faster the better that you are hydrated. So please make sure that you are drinking as much water as you can. You're getting the proper vegetables and fruit, intake, and you're getting the proper exercise. And you will notice that if you are getting the right amount of water, your hair is going to be beautiful, your skin is going to glow, your nails, your teeth, your eyes, everything is going to be, just looking extremely healthy, and you're going to feel great. Some people don't realize that when they're dehydrated, it really saps you of your energy. So pay attention, to these things. Sometimes, when it becomes so serious, like a seizure, heat stroke, or heat cramps or anything like that, then you already know, what the issue is, and you should seek emergency help, in those situations. But for something as simple as, oh, your eyes are dry, or, oh, your mouth is dry, go get a glass of water. And don't forget, before you lie down at night, Make sure that you drink a glass of water. I know there's people out there saying, man, if I do that, I'm gonna be up going all night. Not if you're dehydrated, you. So you need to judge that and see, whether or not you're going all day or you go once a day or twice a day. You need to really notice your habits when it comes to using the restroom. Because if you don't know, then how are you supposed to gauge whether or not you are well hydrated or dehydrated? These are just some thoughts concerning dehydration. I am not a medical professional. I am just a student of life. And I just wanted to bring up this whole conversation because it's about to be summertime. And if we don't hydrate properly, you're going to hear a lot more about people dying due to heat related illnesses, folks having issues with their kidneys. There are going to be people that are having seizures and they're just not going to understand why. They're going to say, oh, I was healthy. I exercised, I ate right, I did everything, but you didn't give your body enough water. With global warming and with it being so much hotter now outside, you're going to need more water. So what you drank maybe 10 years ago is not going to be sufficient now because of everything that's leaving your body too as you age. So please, please, please take a moment to really evaluate, how much water that you intake. And y'all be safe. Enjoy your spring, enjoy your summer, and please, please, please continue to drink as much water as you can. Thank you so much for joining Embracing the Fight. I hope this message reached you. If it did, please take a moment to click subscribe, click like, click share, and comment on the video. I would appreciate it greatly. And I want you guys to have an absolutely amazing day.